inakataza mbunge yoyote kuzungumza.
Until the Speaker of the National Assembly announced that the President had assented to the Division of Revenue Bill, the information was not in the public domain. It caught senators off guard. They immediately convened a news conference.
We believe that that action is against the law. It violates the Constitution fundamentally.
There's no doubt that if the money is not going to be increased by that 48 billion, as many as 18 counties are likely to suffer huge deficits in their budget. That means they will actually not be able to provide services that they have been receiving from the national government before. Come July 1st, when those services and functions will have been transferred to the counties.
Why this is very important that we make this point now, it is that the Division of Revenue Bill is not only the most important bill affecting counties in terms of money, but also it is the first bill that has been debated in both houses, both the National Assembly and the Senate. And therefore it's extremely important that the correct procedures are set out under the Constitution are followed before anybody gives assent to that bill.
There are cases in South Africa interpreting the Constitution, which is saying that if the procedure set out in the Constitution was not followed in making the law, then that law becomes invalid. It then becomes null and void.
The two houses yet again differed on the process through which the Division of Revenue Bill was passed. The National Assembly insists it was constitutional, but the Senate asserts that the entire process flouted the law.
The Constitution anticipates a situation where both houses do not agree. And in such a case, according to Article 112(1)(c) of the Constitution, a mediation committee is the only route that could have been formed to agree on a proper version of that bill. Now, this has not happened.
We are going to court so that the court can give an advisory opinion to all the organs of states, an advisory opinion to both the National Assembly, to the Presidency, and other interested parties on this procedure.
There are clear provisions on what the National Assembly does and what the Senate does. The National Assembly divides revenue between national and county levels of government. That is called the Division of Revenue Bill, which is the vertical distribution. The Senate deals with matters affecting the counties with respect to the allocation of revenue, the horizontal allocation. So that is a formula which is the base of the allocation and the allocation of revenue bill.
The critical issue here, as far as I'm concerned, is that by giving that assent, he is more or less confirming the wrong view, the wrong interpretation of the Constitution, that the Senate has no role whatsoever in debating and discussing the Division of Revenue Bill.
And that is where the danger lies. That this is a fundamental bill that touches the counties, and the Constitution is very clear.
Shortly after 6 p.m., the President's press service sent a statement to newsrooms indicating his reasons for assenting to the bill. The statement read in part, quote, "In the aftermath of the stalemate between the two houses of Parliament, the options of the executive under the law are limited to not acting at all, vetoing the bill, or assenting to the bill. The option of not acting at all would not help the situation, as the bill would become law after 14 days, while vetoing the bill would similarly have led to further delays in the budgetary process. In the circumstances, the most prudent course of action was to assent to the bill in order to facilitate the timely conclusion of budgetary process and avert the risk of bringing government business to a halt." Kenyatta added that, quote, "By not signing the bill, we would have severely compromised the ability of county governments to take off in the very first year," end of quote. But the Senate saw the President's move as an affront to the devolution process, which they say is their primary business to guard.
210 billion allocated to the Senate, to the county government, is way above the 15% the Constitution provides. So over 34% is what is given to the county government. So the government the national government, the national treasury has not breached the law.
We have a budgeted expenditure next year of 1.64 trillion, not billion, 1.64 trillion. And what we are talking about is a total of 238 billion to be shared. Now that percentage comes to less than 14%.
This is about the Senate, this is about devolution, this is about the future of our country.
We will not want to see our child, mtoto tumelea, huyu mtoto ako tu na miezi 3, hata hajamaliza kukunywa maziwa ya mama yake, awe strangled. Our child devolution will not be strangled who has only 3 months. The child has not even started crawling.
The president responded to this in his statement, stating that, quote, "My assent to the Division of Revenue Bill 2013 does not in any way undermine the devolution process," end of quote.
Nobody can just stamp and say, I'm the protector, I'm the savior of devolution. You are not saving anything. It is in the constitution. Nobody can deny Kenya's devolved system of government.
More than anything, the president's move appears to have dented the ego of the Senate. But the senators collectively affirm that they will rise above what they say is cheap politics to soldier on with their mandate, which is to represent the interest of counties, despite the hurdles along the way. Sylvia Chabet, Citizen Live at 9, Nairobi.